Hey guys, it's Jasmine. Welcome back. And today I am doing a video for first time heat transfer vinyl users or iron-on vinyl users. This video will show you pretty much all you need to know. So I had a coworker who was trying to do something on her own. She was like, I don't know what's going on. I can't figure it out. It's just not working for me. So I told her, just give me your vinyl and I'll cut it for you. And so I decided to turn it into a video. And so right now I'm just typing in the number for the decal that she wanted, because she's putting this on a stole, I think is what you call it, the thing that goes around your neck at graduation. So she had two choices, so I did both for her, and then she wanted the last name. So once I find the design I'm looking for, I add it to the canvas, and then I add the second number and go and locate that one. And just so you know, in Design Space they do have a store, and they have a lot of free items and other items you can purchase, or if you subscribe or have a subscription to their service, you can basically use anything you want. So yeah, this is the second one, another class of 2023. And I add it to canvas. And then I'm gonna go ahead, select the menu button and head over to the canvas. So now that we're on the canvas, I am going to resize these. So I did not have a ruler at the time, but I basically put a mark on the back of my phone or on my phone case to see about how long and how wide she wanted them. And so when I got home, I basically took a ruler and kind of measured that, and then it's about 4 to 4.5 inches. So I'm just going to resize these to get them to the right size, and then I'll come right back. And just so you know, because these are pre-made images, the sizing is locked, but you can hit that lock button that's at the top there, and you can change just the height or just the width to get it to what you want. Now, the more you stretch it out, it's gonna start to look a little funny, so adjust it to your liking. So now I'm going to select text, and I am going to type out the last name that she wanted. And as you can see in Cricut, there are a lot of fonts that they have. So she told me she wanted she just had put the favorite fonts collection. Now there are obviously multiple in the collection, so I had to text her and find out which one it was, and she sent me a picture, and so that's how I was able to figure out which one it was. So I am going to be cutting all of these on a gold vinyl, and so you don't have to change this to the color gold, but because I'm cutting it all on one set of vinyl, I want to make sure I have them all the same color, so I'm just going to make this black. But if you wanted, you could change it to the same color as your vinyl, but either way, it's only going to cut in whatever color vinyl you have. Now I'm just going to go back in and resize this a little bit, make sure the width is right, and then once I get the width I want, I'll double check to make sure the height is good. If not, you can unlock that little lock there and adjust the height as well. So I went back and remeasured, and I think I overestimated that width, so I'm gonna go back and lower it a little bit. Instead of 4.5, I'm gonna put it closer to about 4.2 inches, just to make sure that it's going to fit in the amount of space that was there. Okay, so everything looks good, so I go ahead and select make it, and it'll load a little bit, and then it's going to take you to a preview of what your cutting mat will look like. So Design Space will automatically place the items on the mat however it wants to. Because we are doing iron-on, we have to mirror this image. You basically do it in reverse because you cut it backwards, and then once you place it on your garment, it'll be right side up. It might be a little bit confusing at first, but trust me, it's the right way to do it. I like to maximize my vinyl and get the most out of it, so I am going to turn this sideways and push it up so that I don't have to use as much vinyl. Again, I like to maximize every ounce of it so that way I have more left over for the next project. So I'm just going to tweak this how I want it, and then I'm going to move it up so that everything's basically in the same area. When I first started with Cricut, I did not know that you could adjust the things on the mat beforehand, but once I learned that, it was like a lifesaver for me. So once you have everything how you want it, you go ahead and click continue, and you can prepare your machine to cut. So this top part of the vinyl that has this clear film over it, that's the part that's going to go face down, and this back side is the part that's going to cut, which is why we do it in reverse. So now I'm going to take my mat, I'm going to take this clear piece down, and I'm going to place my vinyl onto my mat. And again, we do not want that face up. We are going to put that shiny part face down. Because I selected 12 by 12, I'm going to make sure that this piece of vinyl is going the short way. I don't know. Yeah, the short way. So that way it can cover all 12 inches because of how I place the items on the mat. Because this is actually a 12 by 9 piece of vinyl. And so once you have it, once you have your vinyl on the mat, you can load the mat into your machine. But right here, I forgot to actually plug my machine into my computer, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quickly. So I actually put my machine on custom, and in the design space I select glitter vinyl. You can put it on vinyl and it normally works, but if you are able to customize it, it just may work a little bit better. I prefer to do it that way. And then you can load your mat, and then once you're ready, you press that C, and the Cricut will go ahead and do all the cutting. So I have unloaded my mat from the machine, and you can kind of see some lines there, but it's kind of hard to fully make it out. You can see it a little bit better from this side. With the camera and the glare, it looks a little, I guess, harder to see, but in real life, you can see it much better. So I have just a regular paper cutter. So I'm going to go ahead and use my paper cutter to cut out just where the design is, and so that I can save the rest of that vinyl for another project. Again, if you're going to do it this way, I recommend, paying very close attention to where your design begins and ends, so that way you're not cutting through your design, because that would be a waste of vinyl, and then you have to start over. So now it's time to weed out your design. Weeding is pretty simple, but it can be time consuming depending on the design you have. I'm going to take this weeding tool, and I'm going to simply stab it through the corner and lift it away from that plastic piece. Because these designs are a little bit tricky, I am going to turn my laptop back on to see how the design is supposed to be, so that I'm not weeding out the wrong parts. So I like to pull back the corner at an angle, and then just pull it with my hands. You can use the weeding tool as much as you need to. Occasionally I go back in with it when it's at a tricky spot, but my hands work just fine for me. I also recommend taking your time with this, because if you pull it, fast, you can easily mess up your design. So take your time. Make sure, if you need to, you're looking at the design and design space, because some images you weed the outside, some images you weed the inside. So just make sure you're weeding the right parts. So with certain letters, you will have to weed out those little pieces that are in the center of them. But in other instances, you'll leave the centers in and you'll actually weed out the letters, which you'll see in a few minutes. So in this little area, we're basically going to be doing the reverse. We're actually going to take out the letters instead of weeding out the outside. We'll take the letters out, and so the border is going to basically be the word, I guess you could say. And so once we get here to this letter A, we're basically going to do the reverse of what I was talking about earlier. See how normally we would take out the center of that letter. We leave that little triangle, that's the center of the A. We leave that there. And I think in that other decal, we'll have another area where we'll do the same thing. And we'll also do the same thing with the letter O. We'll take out the body of the O, but we'll leave that center in there because of the fact that we're doing just the border. We need those center pieces to make our letters actually look like the full letter. So that is how we weed. I know that you may notice a lot of glitter around the images. Don't worry about that. Once you iron it on, the vinyl will stick to the fabric. The glitter will be there, but you can like lint roll it off and it should be fine. So now that I'm done, I am going to go back with my paper cutter and I am going to separate all three images. So as you can see, that little line there is going to be where the cut will be made. So make sure you don't have any part of the design over that line. So that is it. Most of what you need to know when dealing with iron-on or heat transfer vinyl. Now, I did not iron this on for her. I was just making the cutouts for her. She will be ironing them on herself. When ironing these on, I recommend following the instructions on the vinyl that you purchased, and double check, you know, the proper heat setting for the fabric that you're using. But I have other videos that show that part. So thanks for watching, and I will see you all back next time.
Give us a subscribe, hit that button.